That about Diane, that has always been the way she is, period, since she was since I knew her at the age of 13, and that would be she wants everything herself. Hollywood has long been praised as the sanctuary of dreams, but in reality it has been a privilege reserved for white people. For decades black artists were suppressed, only given faint supporting roles, or even erased from the screen. Because of this, some artists were forced to hide their heritage just to survive. But this trade-off came with bitter consequences. Some, when they wanted to reveal the truth, were pushed to the edge, drowned in debt, and died in loneliness. Some were forced by companies to whitewash their roots before being given roles. And some stars were even monitored by the FBI day and night for daring to go against Hollywood's harsh rules. Here is a list of 10 Hollywood stars whose black heritage remained hidden until much later. Beyond the glamour, what tragedies did they have to endure? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the man who refused to hide his black heritage. Few people know this before becoming the most powerful man in Hollywood. Dwayne Johnson was once a boy mocked at school. Born in 1972 in Hayward, California, he grew up in a family where glory and pain walked hand in hand. His father, Rocky Johnson, was one of the first black wrestlers to appear on American television in the 70s, often performing at Madison Square Garden and even landing on the cover of Sports Illustrated. His mother, Otta Johnson, was the daughter of Peter Mivia, the legendary Samoan wrestler. Dwayne grew up between two worlds. On one side, the struggles of black wrestlers fighting for a place in the ring. On the other, the proud Polynesian warrior traditions that valued family honor. But American society in those years was far from welcoming. In the 80s and 90s, the big screen was dominated by white muscular icons like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Meanwhile, black faces were pushed into supporting roles or sidelined in the global market. When Dwayne first attempted to follow in his father's footsteps, many in the industry dismissed him, saying he wouldn't go far. A 1995 article in the Miami Herald even claimed he was only fit to be a football player or a trainer, but never a Hollywood star. Things shifted in 1996 when he appeared on WWF's Monday Night Raw under the name Rocky Mivia. The audience booed him relentlessly. Wrestling forums mocked him as not white, not fully black, just an outsider. The pressure almost broke him, as he admitted in his memoir, The Rock says. But instead of quitting, he transformed his persona into the arrogant, confident, self-mocking The Rock. Hollywood wasn't easy either. When he starred in The Scorpion King 2001, critics like Kenneth Tran from the Los Angeles Times questioned whether a face not white enough could become a global box office draw. Rumors spread that Universal had to lighten his skin tone on posters to appeal to European markets. Fans began to ask, where did The Rock truly belong? Dwayne refused to stay silent. In a 2001 ESPN interview, he declared, "My father is Rocky Johnson, a black man who shed blood to pave the way for other wrestlers. I will never let anyone deny that he is my father." His words not only crushed the rumors, but turned him into a symbol of pride. He intentionally included his father's legacy in press events and spoke of both his Samoan and black roots as inseparable halves. Instead of fading, his career exploded. The Scorpion King opened with a record-breaking $36 million, making Dwayne the highest-paid actor in history for a first leading role. Even the newspapers that once doubted him, from the New York Times to Variety, now hailed him as Hollywood's fresh new face. Looking back, The Rock overcame social prejudice by confronting the truth head-on. He didn't whitewash the past or avoid his origins. He turned them into power to conquer the world. From a boy ridiculed for his appearance and skin color, Johnson became a global figure, proving that an action star doesn't need white skin to reach the top. Chapter 2. Mariah Carey, the diva forced to whiten her image to sell records. When Mariah Carey first appeared on American TV in the summer of 1990 performing Vision of Love on the Arsenio Hall show, millions were stunned. A phenomenal voice hitting sky-high notes left critics and audiences in disbelief that she was only 20 years old. Yet behind this first moment of glory, Mariah was pulled into the ruthless game of the music industry, where skin color and heritage mattered almost as much as talent. Her father, Alfred Roy Carey, was Afro-Venezuelan, while her mother, Patricia Hickey, was Irish and classically trained in music. From childhood, Mariah felt the sting of difference. She recalled how neighbors in Long Island threw rocks at their windows simply because her father was not white. At school, classmates whispered, "What is she not white, not black?" These words scarred her youth. Entering the music scene, prejudice persisted. In the 9 South, record executives, especially Columbia Records, believed white singers sold better in mainstream markets. When she signed with Columbia, its head Tommy Moore later Her husband crafted her as the perfect pop princess. Posters were edited to brighten her skin. Her curly hair was straightened and every trace of her black heritage blurred. Rumors circulated that Columbia even banned her from appearing at music events for black artists, fearing mainstream audiences might learn her true background. Vibe magazine in 1995 published a long piece calling her a woman living between two worlds, asking bluntly, "Who does she belong to?" MTV in 1994, Mariah admitted, "I've gotten used to being labeled by others. Sometimes even I don't know where I stand." But her talent was too dazzling to be hidden. Through the 90s, Carrie scored 19 #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, a record only the Beatles surpassed. Albums like Music Box 1993 and Daydream 1995 sold tens of millions worldwide. Her massive commercial success forced Columbia and the media to rethink her. She wasn't just the white pop princess they had tried to mold, but a cultural phenomenon. The turning point came in the early 2000s when Carrie, in a conversation with Oprah Winfrey, declared, "I'm proud of my father. I'm proud of carrying black heritage. It's a part of me that cannot be separated." Her words shocked audiences. Some were skeptical, others surprised, but many admired her honesty. After years of concealment, the fallout was huge. Columbia's whitewashing policies were exposed while Carrie stepped into a new role, a symbol who transcended racial boundaries. People no longer called her just a pop star, but a queen. One of the few who changed how the world saw mixed heritage in music. Number 3, Diana Ross, the Motown icon, criticized for being not black enough, not white enough. Detroit in the 1960s was a place of contrasts. On one side, civil rights struggles. On the other, the rise of Motown, where Berry Gordy built the first black music empire to rival the white mainstream. In this world, Diana Ross rose from the Brewster Douglas housing projects to the spotlight, becoming the soul of the Supremes. The group scored over 12 Billboard #1 hits, even surpassing the Beatles for consecutive chart toppers. But fame didn't mean freedom. To white audiences, Ross was the safe face of her light complexion, slim figure, and elegant aura led critics to say Diana Ross looks more like a Hollywood starlet than a black singer from Detroit. Meanwhile, within the black community, some accused her of being too white, losing authenticity. Black magazines like Ebony described Ross as standing between two worlds, but truly belonging to neither. The pressure intensified when Berry Gordy poured resources into making Ross a solo international star. Rumors of a romantic relationship between Ross and Gordy only fueled the belief that she was favored over her Supremes band. When Ross left the group in 1970, Mary Wilson openly complained, "Motown always treated Diana as the only one who mattered." Her personal life became constant tabloid fodder. In the late 70s, she grew close to Michael Jackson, who often called her the most important woman in my life. Rumors of romance exploded when People in Rolling Stone published photos of them hand in hand in Los Angeles in 1981. Despite their denials, speculation persisted, painting Ross as both admired and scrutinized. Prejudice followed her into film when chosen to star in Lady Sings, the Blues 1972 portraying Billie Holiday. Many white directors opposed, claiming Ross was too glamorous to play a struggling black singer. In a tearful TV interview with Barbara Walters, Ross confessed, "I'm tired of being told I'm not black enough to sing black music and not white enough to be a Hollywood star." Yet, she triumphed. Ross earned an Oscar nomination, won a Golden Globe, and remained one of the most successful black divas of all time. But her career was always shadowed by controversy. Was her success due to talent or because she walked a fine line between black and white worlds? Ross' story reveals the harsh reality of American entertainment in the 20th century. Even at the peak of global fame, an artist could never escape the labels imposed by society. Chapter 4. Clark Gable, the king of Hollywood who hid his mixed heritage. The 1930s marked Hollywood's golden age. Los Angeles glittered with neon, celebrated as the embodiment of the American dream, but behind it was a harsh studio system. MGM, Warner Brothers, Paramount, controlling every detail of actors' careers, contracts, and even their private lives. Within this, Clark Gable was molded into the ideal American man. With his thin mustache, half smile, and deep voice, he became king of Hollywood. Yet, at the height of his fame, a rumor spread. Gable's family line contained African and Native